good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Facebook Live. I'm Saquon.
I'm Dylan Moe.
And before we get started, before we tell you about everything that you need to know before you hit the road or whatever it is that you got planned for the day, don't forget you can watch this and listen to this on your own time by visiting our Inform YouTube channel. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform and on inform.com/podcast under the Inform Minute. Now let's talk about the main story of today and really the next few weeks, which is weather.
Yeah, weather. Yeah.
There's always
cold.
something happening with weather, but
it's cold, but today the wind picks up.
Yeah.
Wind chills of 50 to 60 below in the western half of the state. Here, not as dramatic. We had wind chills 30 to 40 below, but a wind chill advisory is in effect, of course, for the day today here in the valley. Wind chill warning out to the west. The point is it's cold. And the wind, of course, that we have today, which we haven't had the past couple of days, is causing blizzard conditions off to the west, blowing and drifting snow. And it's only going to get worse, especially south of 94.
Okay, yeah.
Tomorrow is going to be very bad. This afternoon, the wind really starts to pick up. Things are going to start getting pretty ugly.
Yeah,
so,
visibility is going to be
visibility is going to be bad. Of course, roads are already icy.
Yeah.
It's going to be very, very treacherous travel. Not recommended, at least not from us. So.
Well, and we even saw flight cancellations out of Fargo, lots of cancellations out of Minneapolis. So it's not only impacting, just road travel, but of course air travel as well. Yeah,
if you do decide to travel, although we're recommending not to, just make sure you have your winter survival kit in your car because with these wind chills, it's deadly. It is deadly cold.
Yeah.
So you want to be careful with that.
Definitely.
So
all right,
we stay cold through. Today's probably the coldest day. Well, of the rest of the forecast.
Sure.
We're getting warmer slowly. By Christmas, should be about 0.
Okay.
Maybe.
About 0. So that's good.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
You're gonna
We'll
feel
see.
a difference. So.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Dylan. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Right now, with that being said, of course, holidays are shifting some schedules around in the area. We're going to start with Moorhead and West Fargo. Your recycling and garbage should get picked up today. It's one day earlier, of course, than your normal pickup day. If you live in Fargo, yours is going to be picked up on Tuesday the 27th, a day later than normal. This change, of course, comes as city offices across the metro are going to be closed in observance of the holiday, starting, Christmas Eve tomorrow. Tomorrow? Oh my gosh, it's Christmas Eve tomorrow? Sorry, is it?
Christmas Eve tomorrow.
It's Christmas Eve on Saturday. Oh my gosh, I am all over the place. It's holiday in my head, but I don't know. So yeah, on Christmas Eve and then through Monday, December 26th, because that is when Christmas Day will be observed, of course. And then they're going to open back up on that following Tuesday, December 27th. City is suggesting that you set out your trash and recycling bins out by 4 in the morning of the day of your pickup, just to make sure that it gets collected. We did check Grand Forks and their website this morning. We couldn't find specific details as to what their trash and recycling pickup is going to look like. I know that they do those A-B routes, and I was trying to find that information. If anyone is from Grand Forks and you're watching and listening right now, let me know if you guys know what's going on, because we were trying to figure that out and finding that on the website, which we could not. I'm assuming theirs is going to look pretty similar to what these cities are doing, whether they're just pushing back a date or, maybe doing it a little bit earlier. Not exactly sure on that. So any Grand Forks people able to confirm that for me, let me know. I would really appreciate that. Also, right now, we're working to learn more about a student who was arrested for making threats at school regarding school violence. And it was actually... it was actually on social media. But this all happened at a Fertile Beltrami school. There was another student who actually reported these threats, which is what led to this arrest. So it's kind of unclear right now what exactly that threat was. We did make some calls into that school asking what's going on. We have not yet heard back. But here's the good news. There's no threat to the public right now. And police are saying that they're not going to be releasing any further information at this time. Okay, people in Detroit Lakes, this one's for you. You're going to have to pay more in property taxes next year. I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but it's going to be about a 10% hike in property taxes, which is kind of a lot. So several factors we're learning played a role in this tax hike, including unsettled contract or union contracts, the need to pay off the city's existing debt, and the need to hire a full-time fire chief still. In total, that increase is going to see an additional $7 million in funds allocated to the city, which is going to be pushing the city's general fund to more than $4.5 million, but that does not include the lakeweed or snow removal in that budget. And then a heads up for those of you who go to the public library in Jamestown often. Hate to break it to you, but it's actually going to be closed until further notice. Geez, I am just full of bad news today, I feel like. But the children's library actually there in the basement, it is cleared out because there was a water pipe that burst, and it happened sometime during the winter storm last week, right? So we're dealing with one storm right now this week, and then obviously we had our own set of storms last week too, which just goes to show how brutal these are. But we know that about 10 industrial fans and dehumidifiers are drying out that floor right now. Volunteers, library staff, they got together over the weekend to try to help clean up all of this mess. But yeah, as of right now, it's going to be closed. Again, that's until further notice. We will let you know if or when it gets opened back up. Okay, also there's a free app to help out Minnesotans who test positive for COVID. State Department of Health just launched this new telehealth program, and it offers COVID clinical care and medication to patients at no cost, which is really neat. Goal of this pilot program is to reduce the risk of serious illness or hospitalization. If this intrigues you, here's how it works. If you test positive with either a home test or a lab test, you can download the Q Health app in your app store, and then you can sign up with your home address. Of course, that has to be a Minnesota address. From there, then you can have those virtual consultations with nurses, which I think was very cool. Also, if you have plans to fly for Christmas, this goes back to our flight cancellation talk, you should pack some patience. Here's why. As of yesterday afternoon, more than 750 flights were canceled for today across the U.S. Mind you, that number is probably growing throughout the day today because of this winter storm that is really, hitting much of the U.S. right now. The National Weather Service is calling this winter storm a once-in-a-generation type event. Of course, this has brought, not only the Arctic cold, but also blizzard-like conditions in much of the Midwest, particularly in Chicago. Let's focus there. We know that Chicago is a major hub for American, United, and Southwest Airlines, which kind of brings the question, at least this morning, are those people going to be directed to MSP? I mean, what's the question there? They can't just have everyone at Chicago O'Hare. So I know that Chicago O'Hare right now is seeing the biggest flight cancellations in the country. But yeah, I don't know. It brings up all of those questions. Okay, AAA is expecting nearly 7.2 million people to fly over the end of year holiday period. That is just shy of 2019's 7.3 million. So if your plans are flexible, some airlines are offering waivers to switch flights. I would say your safe bet is to just be on standby and make sure your plans are flexible because you just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, at last check this morning, which you can of course check just by typing in Hector. If you're flying out of Fargo somewhere, you can type in Hector flight status, and you'll be able to see the canceled flights. This morning at the end of the show, we had seen only about 2 flights canceled, but that was as of then. I haven't checked now, and that's my bad, but I know that a lot of them were on time for now. But that, again, could change, right, with things starting to pick up progressively throughout the day. So just be mindful of that. If you're traveling, by air, even for those of you guys, traveling by road, just make sure you're really keeping a close eye on those DOT maps, which, again, you can just type in DOT map in Minnesota or North Dakota, and it should be able to pull up those road conditions for you, which is what we see on First News. Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, 9 to 11, WDAY Extra, Inforum.com. Make sure you go join Dom on his show. And you can always subscribe to this Inforum deal that we got going on for 50% off of an annual subscription. Just visit Inforum.com/subscribe to get started. That lasts until tomorrow. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning from 5 to 7. Until then, stay warm, stay safe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.